It was New Year's Eve 2006. I had sent my valet, the loneliest ranger, out to buy the latest New Yorker magazine. He didn't return for 3 days. When he did return, he returned with this publication, and I was shocked to see that the figure there, standing in the bars from the first photo of hell, was the poet, Joe Green. How could this be, since he was still living? It could only be explained by the doctrine of predamnation.
Head in hand, stand here facing the wall. How could she say to me, she don't care at all? Hey, you've got to hide your love away. Hi, this is the Pleasant Reviewer. I'm sorry, I was thinking of the show that we'll do next week. It'll be a wonderful show. But today we have a really great show for you, straight from hell. I discovered that Joe Green was in hell. Discovered that he was predamned. Studied a bit and found that the doctrine of predamnation was, it was first brought out, I guess, by Dante Alighieri, author of the Divine Comedy. He had a problem. He wanted to put his enemies in hell, but some were still alive. So he decided that, or discovered that, or was told by Virgil that, or was told by Beatrice that they dwelled in hell, even though they were still alive. That's the fate of Joe Green. So I wanted to make a connection. I wanted to be able to call hell, talk to Joe in his predamned state, and persuade him to appear on our show and perhaps read a poem or two. So how do you do this? I thought, I live in St. Paul, at the Cosmopolitan Hotel, right off Summit Avenue, are the suites, I guess, are the suites of Zelda and F. Scott Fitzgerald. They haven't lived in them since the teens or the 20s, but they had a damned hard relationship, and thought, if I go over there, maybe I can make some kind of connection, some kind of nexus would be there. But then I remembered that Fitzgerald had written a book called The Beautiful and the Damned. And so there's no way I was getting in touch with Joe there, because Beautiful leaves Joe out. So I decided to come here, to the home of Joe Green. Well, he was out. I did that 3 days ago. And I was able to establish a connection of a sort to hell, but they were having computer problems. But I called them this morning. I talked to the operator. The computer problems are over. They used to use Apple's for their communications network. It was kind of an Adam and Eve thing. But they just decided to go straight to Dell. So I was able to get in touch with Joe, and Joe said he would come and appear on our show. And suddenly this cell phone appeared beside my bedside, and it has Hell's ringtone on it. And Joe said, when I hear Hell's ringtone, I won't be able to claim that it's anything else than Hell's ringtone. He would be there on the other end. There it is. This is listening to that. That ringtone can only be from hell. All right, let's talk to Joe. Pleasant Reviewer here. Hey, Joe. Hey. Yeah, we're ready for you. Okay, how are you going to get here? Well, you still have that old truck? You think you can make it? Okay. All right. He's in a hurry. He's going to be here very soon.
Yes, it is. Hi-ho, Silver! A fiery horse with the speed of light, a cloud of dust, and a hearty hi-ho, Silver! The loneliest ranger returns! word. Poetry is saved to save the day.
Well, I know it took me a damn long time getting here, but I just had an old Dodge, and it's really hard getting that old Dodge out of hell. I had to put it in reverse most of the time. And I wanted to read my baseball poems, but they wouldn't let me get my bat out of hell. So here it goes. Argentinian black Catholic Jew, Conte. He was an Argentinian black Catholic Jew. It's too bad, but I am one too. How sadly I think of my father. After Mass he would play Hernando's Hideaway, then the blues, then yell at my mother. After Mass he would play Hernando's Hideaway and bitch of the Schwarzes and Yettels, then damn the O'Fays, and in his own special way evict some of the Yids from his rentals. Conte, take a Jew, take my father, born in the beginning of the 20th century, the century of universal disaster, born in the USA to a family of neurotic vaudevillians, African-American Jews who disguised their Jewishness and pretended to be an Argentinian family of tango dancers. An African-American Jew dancing the tango, the one dance that above all speaks of fatality, of destinies engulfed in pain. It is the dance of sorrow. Then take this Jew, my poor papa, and arrange it so that he falls in love in Berlin months after Hitler takes over, falls in love with that fatal woman, Ilsa. The rest of the family flees. While my papa, the fake gaucho, is drawn inexorably into the darkest of the dark underworlds that existed in Berlin, the Nosferatu, the secret society of decadence with the vampire balls and grand Google orgies. And my father and Ilsa dancing El Tango de la Muerte there, while Europe descended into madness, and my father danced to the dark music of the bandoneon and the violin. A long stillness as the watchers wait in the dark, and my father and Ilsa waited frozen on the stage, and then the quick motion that begins the tango. Stillness. And then the sudden violence, the dynamic of a frozen world suddenly shattered, the apotheosis of the 20th century. Conte. I stepped out into the night from the funeral home, remembering how horrible it must have been for my father to pretend he was a Catholic. This explained his strange melancholy during my first Holy Communion. And as I remembered more of the story he told me, I thought back to those times when my mother came back from Novena. How he would lock himself into the bedroom, and all we could hear was Hernando's Hideaway on the old record player, and the sounds of my father shuffling about, breathing. Conte. Ilsa said, I am IRA. And I think I can get us away, but you must be baptized, and then in disguise we'll go to the US of A. They fled across the dark Arctic Sea. My mother was Ilsa, you see, and they returned in good health, and Pope Pius XII cried, Fie, fiddle-dee-dee. Then they came to these shores at last, but the fad for the tango had passed. What could a Jew do? So he did a soft shoe, grateful that he wasn't gassed. He starred in some old minstrel show. Papa said he wanted to go. Mama said, you black Jew, you're working for two. Dance, it's all that you know. Perhaps you hear that I have been accompanied from hell, from a hound from hell, whose breathing and snoring interrupted my poetry reading. Well, this is how we do it in hell. That's all. Goodbye, everyone.